Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. This is Greg from Greg's Tutoring NYC at gmail.com here. How's everybody doing today? It's 70 some odd days till the SHSAT. You got basically all September, all October, and the next week of November, and the couple of days left of August here. So we really should be shooting for your 2-month plan at this point. I've been doing a series where I had found a bunch of regencies from the 1800s, and many of the questions are still appropriate, as well as some of the kind of antique language that we're going to just cover here. Some of these are not 100% SHSAT questions, but they do form a fundamental core of a lot of the techniques and things that are in the real SHSAT. So I only have about 15 minutes left. I actually have been trying to get this stream going for half an hour, and YouTube has had one problem or another. Looks like we are finally live though. But if it's 15 minutes, it's 15 minutes. It's the best I could do. I have a session at 9 and I need 5 more minutes or something in the middle of that. So you should have the questions on your screen. Last time we ended at question number 496. So let's just jump into that. A cistern can be emptied by 7 pipes of equal capacity in 35 minutes. And what time can it be emptied if only 5 pipes are open? So we have 7 times 35, and we basically have what are pipe minutes. Okay, so that's our total there. What we need to do is divide it by 5. So enough kids might just start out just straight up multiplying this and getting 210 plus 35, what is that, 255? But if you notice, the 5 will cancel into here, and we get 49 pipe minutes when it's the 5 pipes. Okay, and that's your answer. You're just done. All right, so part of the moral of this story is sometimes hold off your multiplications and so on until you can see what's going on. All right, so that one was fairly easy peasy, and so on. When I ended the left one, I also posted in the comments about whether, since it was on the same screen, whether people could solve 500 and 501. So 500 is just really just a proportion. So we have 9 pounds is to 150 bullets. How many bullets can be made from 105 pounds? So this just sets up a proportion, and you're just going to do the cross product. Okay? So we're going to end up with 150 times 105 over 9. So again, we have a similar problem where some kids will just go for it. Oh, they're not divisible by 9, we're done. But we can cancel the 3 out of here. So that's 3, and that's 50. And it turns out this still divides. This fact family of 3, 35, and 105 comes up often enough in standard tests. So this cancels into here, right? And we get 35. So we've reduced the problem down to 35 times 50, right? So we get 0, 25, 2, 1750. Is that the answer? Yes, it is. And I always like to flip the way it goes to. I like to double check in various ways. So I get 0, 25, 0, 15. So I still get 1750 on that too, guys, all right? And it's in bullets. The next one, I avoided going over some of the other ones. So, and I think this is going to end up with nasty things. So what we need to do is set up basically what's called a double inverse proportion. So we have 75 boys in 84 days. We're able to make $68.75. So the question is, how many boys with and that same rate of payment could be employed at the same time, right? So basically what you want to do is get to $68.75 and divide it by the 75 times 84. And once you get whatever that is, then you can do the rate for the 90 boys and the other thing, because then it would be 90 boys times the number of days, because that's what you're looking for, times the same rate here would be the 4125. So that becomes kind of tedious, and as we just saw in both of the examples, sometimes the numbers kick out and it ends up, this was totally trivial math. This was a little annoying, okay? So let's see what we can get here. So there's a way of setting this up so that it kind of works out. So when we have these double proportions, what we want to have is basically A times B times C over X times Y times Z equals 1. So it means if we want to solve for X, or in this case Y, we will multiply both sides by Y. So this Y would cancel, and we get Y equals that thing there. Okay? It also turns out, since this is 1, if you wanted to solve for, say, C, you would set it up like this. And then multiply both sides by C. Okay? Because both sides are 1. So our goal is, when we set up the factors on the top of the numerator and the denominator, we want the unknown to be at the bottom. Because if this is 1, we can just bring it over there, and then we solve for the unknown. Okay? So before I solve that, I just want to make sure we're live. And I only have about 10 minutes left here. Yeah, we seem to be live, although it seems to be pretty far behind. Looks like there's a 1.5 minute lag time. I don't get YouTube, but anyway. By the way, guys, I do a lot of these, and it actually costs me money and time and effort. So please subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps you too, because I do hundreds of these, and I will continue doing them. So you get the benefit of that. Please like as well, since it helps the channel and so on again. I hope you guys get something out of this, and it's beneficial to you. And you guys can always email me, gregstutoring@nyc@gmail.com, about any SHSAT-based questions, or the ISEE, the SSAT, the PSAT, the SAT, the TJHSST, the Bergen County Academy test, even the New York State test, the Connecticut State test, the New Jersey State test. I do all these, as well as homework help and so on. But if you have any grade 8, that's what we're kind of focusing on here. Grade 8 SHSAT questions, hit me up. Same with if you have grade 9 questions, hit me up. All right, so we're going to move into solving this. So this is our modus operandi. This is what we're shooting for, to try to get something like this. So here's how you set it up. You put all the known ones at the top. So there's 75 boys and 84 days. And they're 68, 75. So instead of putting that here, because there's no other data, we're going to put it below it. Okay? And then it says how many days, so that's our unknown, is 90 boys. Let me write this neatly so we have good numbers. And we have 4125. So what we're basically going to do is divide that. So 75 boys, 84 days makes this. 90 boys, and we don't know how many days makes that. And now we're just going to do a division. So instead of multiplying the nasty numbers, we're going to see what cancels each other. All right? So this, I see 6 here and 6 here. I see 5 here and 5 here. So it kind of doesn't matter which you do. And I also see these are at least divisible by 5s. So I'm going to kind of leave them alone for a second, because they just look nasty and ugly. All right? So here's what I'm going to do. 6 goes into here 15 times. 6 goes into here 14 times, is it? 6, yep. And then 15 goes into here 5 times. Okay? So we're left with 5 and 14 after all that. Okay, this looks like it's divisible by 25, and I also wonder if it's divisible by 25. So what we're going to do is come down here and see if that's the case for each of them. Now, I am going to waste a little time doing this. In the real test, you have to make a judgment call, whether to actually do this multiplication across and this division, if that's going to be faster than doing what I'm just going to do. In the worst case, you know it's divisible by 5. The problem with dividing it by 5 is you're going to get like 8 point something here and 12 or something down here if you divide by 5. That's most likely divisible by 5 again. So you might be going down the series of divisions, which is cool, but it becomes more error prone. The more things you have to do, the more you're apt to make a silly error. And this is not A, B, C, D either. These are fill in the blanks at the time they're doing it. So let's do 25 and here is 1. Right, so we get 25. And what do we get left over? 16, 25, 30, 41, yes. We bring that down. So did I do that right? 16, 41, 25. Yep. So 25 goes into here. Well, 4 is $1. So we do a point, I believe it's 6. So that's $1.50. And we get 125. So 25 goes into $1.25 times. So this, if it works, I don't want to cross it out yet, because the bottom has to also be divisible by the 25 as well. So 25 into here, that gives 2. So I have 50, 18, 75. This would be 7, I guess, to be $1.75. That gives a 5, 2, 1, 5. So they both go. So this becomes 275. This became 165. So I noticed the divisible by 5 again. So 275 by 5 gives 5. That's point. So we get 25, 2 left over. That gives 55. 0.55. And 165. Divisible by 5 is 0.3, 15, 1, 3. So this becomes 0.33. And by the way, in the real SHSAT, a problem won't have all this computation. They would have made this less done. And again, part of the point is to show you that in a lot of the SHSAT examples, the concepts might be hard, but the actual arithmetic part of it is supposed to be simple. So anyway, we get 5 times 14, and we get 0.33 over 0.55. Well, if I divide by 0.11, I get 5 here. And if I divide by 0.11 here, I get 3. This 5 cancels. So I end up with 14 times 3, which is 42. So the actual kind of hard math, so what you have to weigh is whether the multiplication and the division of these nasty numbers, even if you got down to the 275 and the 165, right? Is it worth having seen if it was divisible by 25? Okay? And there was even probably a way to optimize it, because you know 4 25s is $1, right? So we could tell straight up that both worked. If 4 25s is $1, then it works for the dollar here on the 4, and we also know it works for $40. So does 25 go into 25 cents? Yes, it does. We also know here that 25 goes into $68, 68 times 4 times. And it goes into 75 cents 3 times, right? So we know both these numbers straight up actually were divisible by 25. So we actually didn't waste time doing this. We could see that that was the case. Okay, it was 4126. It wouldn't have been the case because there's no 5 here. So that's our heads up in the first place. The second case was each of the decimal part was a multiple of 25. And we know whole numbers always are, because it's always times 4. All right? So we know we can get there. All right? Let me just make sure we're live. And I have about 5 minutes now that I'm looking at this. So let me look at one more problem maybe. That was 501. Yeah, 501 is 42 days. I wonder if I should just end it here. I'm not sure. And we got to do 3 only. So be it. So, yeah, let's try to do 504 real quick. If I run out of time, I'm gonna just end this, and we can continue with the next time. So we have 1/8 of a number exceeds 1/9 of a number by 20. I did that right. 1/8 of a number is equal to 1/9 of a number plus 20, so it exceeds it. So what I'm going to do is multiply this side by 8, right, to get rid of that. So I have 8/9 plus 160, and I'm going to multiply both sides by 9 to get rid of that. If I did this right. So I got 9x equals 8x plus that. And I subtract, and I just get 8x equals 160 times 9. So if I do that here, 054 and 14, and that better be the answer. What question number was that? 502, no, 504 is 1440. And what I'm going to do is leave this one. It's actually pretty trivial, this question. We'll start there the next time. All right, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a great time prepping, and that things are going well for you guys. Again, I'm Greg at Greg's Tutoring at NYC@gmail.com. I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you to like. I encourage you to email me your grade 8 and grade 9 problems that you're having a problem with. All right? Peace out. Wait, let me bring this up. I don't have it on my screen. All right, people. Peace out, and I'll continue this some other time. Have a great day.